Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees in today's session of the Secrets of Bhagavad Gita. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. Today we are going to discuss Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 2, text number 3. So let us start. क्लैब्यं मास्मगमः पार्थ नैतत्त्वय्युपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading importance. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Sounds a little poetic. Purport. Arjuna was addressed here as the son of Pritha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father, Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. So, this is a very interesting point. Here, Lord Shri Krishna particularly addresses Arjuna as Partha, and there is a significance behind using such name. Though Arjuna has his personal name, uh, Arjuna, that is Arjuna, but still, uh, based on his relationship with others or based on his various heroic activities, he has received many other names. So, uh, Lord Shri Krishna chooses this particular name, Partha, here to remind Arjuna of something. So, that we are going to see. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only. And if the son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriyas and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna did not want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Technically, such unworthy sons of Kshatriya or Brahmanas are called Kshatrabandhus and Brahmabandhus respectively. So, why is it discouraged to not uh, deviate from the our individual dharma, whether it is Kshatriya dharma or Brahmana dharma? But it is always discouraged to uh, not go away from one's individual dharma. Arjuna here is acting as a Kshatriya, so he is supposed to act as Kshatriya, not as a Brahmana. Or uh, even if he feels compassion for his relatives or his superiors, he is not supposed to uh, act on that bodily platform, because as a Kshatriya, he has to fight with his opponents. And here, Arjuna had a right cause for fighting. So it was not just a fight for gaining some kingdom, but Duryodhana by nature he was uh, ill-minded, and since childhood, Pandavas have experienced this ill-mindedness of Duryodhana and other Kaurav brothers. So, uh, considering that Duryodhana has such ill intentions towards Pandavas and towards all saintly people, so it is imperative for Pandavas to win them, conquer them, uh, and subdue them, so that they should not give rise to adharma. So that was the actual reason for beginning the Mahabharata war. So Arjuna knew this well, that it is not just a war for getting some petty kingdom. Pandavas were strong enough to defeat even demigods. What to speak of any ordinary human beings on this earth? So, uh, if they were really interested only in kingdom, they could have received so in so many ways. Of course, here they have their own right to their father's kingdom because they 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 have a right to the kingdom from his father's from their father's lineage. So it is their dharma to have their own rights. But apart from that, Pandavas could have just refused to fight with their brothers, namely Duryodhana and others, and could have conquered devas or some other beings, and uh, could have received kingdom over there. But that was not the will of Lord Shri Krishna. So here, even before Mahabharat war begins, it was decided that Pandavas will punish Duryodhana and his supporters. So it was not just a family business. So it was for establishing dharma. So despite of this knowledge, Arjuna is behaving like some uneducated person in dharma. So and that was the will of Lord Shri Krishna, that Arjuna should get bewildered so that Lord Krishna gets the opportunity to speak Bhagavad Gita and educate all human beings. So Arjuna or any Kshatriya is not supposed to give up their individual Kshatriya dharma. So if we consider following dharma, there are always challenges in all dharmas, whether it is Brahman dharma, Kshatriya dharma, Vaishya dharma, Shudra dharma, or Stri dharma. There are always challenges. So we should not just think that these Bhagavad Gita teachings are meant only for Kshatriyas. So the principle of dharma are applicable everywhere in all individual dharmas. So as Arjuna is not supposed to deviate from Kshatriya dharma, similarly we are not supposed to deviate from our own individual dharma. So uh, the idea is that there are always difficulties in following dharma, and that everyone has to accept it. That's a cruel reality of this world, that things are not so simple. Even if you want to follow dharma without harming anyone, it is just not possible. So uh, the direction is not that we have to purposefully harm anyone, but when it comes to following dharma, and in the matter of following dharma, if one has to cause harm to anyone, then it should be carried out without any second thought. For example, for Stri Dharma, let's say Stri, it's very easy to understand. In Stri Dharma, uh, within family there are many duties, and they have to cook in summer, they have to take bath in winters, and they have to be around kids. So it is a big challenge for those of us who are not have the experience of being with kids 24/7. They may not able to understand it, but it's a great austerity to be with children all the time. So the women are supposed to take up this pain, and they have to cook in summer, so they have to uh, tolerate heat. So everyone wants to eat delicious hot food, but uh, it is the duty of women who are supposed to cook for the family. So that's also pain, but there is no any other choice. One has to execute that duty, and even to uh, raise children and even carry baby for 9 months. That's also big austerity. So, so similarly, in all dharmas, there are some challenges. So we can't just give up our own dharma just because there are some difficulties. So Arjun also felt this difficulty, but he was just supposed to ignore those difficulties and just carry out his duty as a kshatriya. So that is a lesson for all of us. Arjuna is simply playing a role of a conditioned soul just to educate us. So we should not similarly think that okay, we can also uh, give some excuse to not follow our individual dharma. So when things go wrong, that time we should always remember that we are supposed to follow dharma under all circumstances. Generally, it is very easy to follow dharma when everything is right, but when everything is not right, that's a challenge, and that's where uh, our own nishtha or our own faith for in following dharma would be reflected. So Arjuna, because he belonged to Aryan culture, Aryan family, he was a son of a kshatriya. So because the particular word parth has been used here. So so Arjuna was a son of Pritha, Kunti Devi, and who was Kunti? Kunti was Vasudev's sister, and Vasudeva was a Kshatriya. So Lord Krishna reminds Arjuna that I belong to Kshatriya family, and because my uh, you are son of my aunt, so you also belong to Kshatriya family. We are Kshatriyas, and we belong to a very uh, noble family of Kshatriyas. So it is not expected from you that you uh, want to give up your Kshatriya dharma at this moment. So that was the message from Lord Shri Krishna when he addressed Arjuna as Partha. So generally, when great personalities do something or speak something, they carry a lot of meanings. They just don't speak anything or do anything without any purpose. So that's another aspect we should know when we observe great personalities. So sometimes we may make fun of them or may treat them as some ordinary persons, but uh, that's our mistake, that we are not able to understand their intentions uh, or their purpose behind their particular actions or behavior. So uh, that said, we should not just try to see everyone as some great personality, and even if they do something wrong and we try to see them as something very confidential or something, uh, we should not try to see some noble purpose in such ordinary human beings. That also a lesson for us. So whenever we are discussing about some great personalities or see some great personalities in practice, there in the scriptures there are mentions of such signs of great personalities. So by those characteristics, we can see their character and see their dealings. So uh, We should not uh, give judgment over their actions or behavior based on our own limitations. So, so that's also an aspect which we should remember here, and that is why Arjuna, being a great person, being a responsible person of a Kshatriya family, he is not supposed to act like an ordinary person. Lord Shri Krishna is reminding that uh, maybe you should understand that you are not acting as per your Kshatriya lineage. Next, Arjun was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. In the previous verse, we heard that Lord Shri Krishna reminds Arjuna that this particular act of declining the war is akirtikaram. It brings defamy on Arjuna. And why is it so important for Arjuna to consider this point? Because Arjuna was a famous personality. He was famous for his great determination in following dharma. He was famous as a great saintly person. So it is said that sambhavitasya cha kirtir maranarathi richyate. So defaming for any respectable person is considered as death, maranarathi richyate. So Arjuna may prefer to die on the battlefield, but he should not act in any way uh, so that he receives defaming. So, as a Kshatriya, you should always consider these things. So, that is why uh, Arjuna uh, seems to have forgotten his own position as Kshatriya, his own friendship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, uh, and also his responsibility as a saintly person. So, though he appears like a saintly person, but actually, from his arguments, we can understand that uh, he is feeling intense material attachment to his relatives. So, uh, as we discussed yesterday, for a Aryan, for a person who belongs to the Aryan culture, he is supposed to think beyond his emotions. He is supposed to follow in terms of dharma. So, emotions, if they are in line with dharma, they are welcome and they can be accommodated. But if such emotions are not in line with dharma, they should be rejected. So sometimes in today's society, we say that people give so much emphasis on emotions. That what will happen to my emotions? I want to uh, I want to have some relationship with someone. Uh, I want to have some boyfriend or I want to have some girlfriend. And even if someone is married, then still they think in terms of their own individual emotions at office, at their workplace. So, and the other thing is that we are all human beings and we do have emotions and we can't just give them up. So, what to do? So, uh, to have emotion is nothing wrong, but those emotions should be directed as per dharma. If we direct our emotions in a adharmic way, then that is sin, and for that one will be punished. So even if someone has a desire to associate with a woman or woman has a desire to associate with men, then they should find the dharmic way. So it's an emotional need. There is no doubt because we are human beings, so uh, we do have emotions. So, just to possess emotions is not a sin, but we should not direct it towards anyone or in any way. So that comes the Aryan culture, where emotions are reposed in proper persons and as per dharma. So we are not discouraged from having emotions or uh, having some material desires, because in conditioned state it may not be possible for majority of the people to immediately overcome material desires and come to the spiritual platform where we only have spiritual desires. It is our aspiration that we should always have spiritual desires and no material desires in even in dreams. But it is an impractical proposal. So that is why Vedic scriptures have given us this way of dharma, so that uh, through the agency of dharma we can direct our emotions, we can direct our material desires in such a way that will purify us. So Arjuna had feelings and emotions for his relatives, but the problem with his feelings and emotions was that it went against dharma. It was not as per dharma, and he knew this well before coming to Mahabharat war. And now suddenly it got changed. The moment he Arjuna sees his gurus, his superiors, his relatives, somehow or other he changed his outlook, and now he's arguing uh, to support his emotions. But as we will see, Lord Sri Krishna, being the supreme guru, he would discard all these emotions. He would call Arjuna as foolish. So, uh, Prajnavadam Bhashati. Yata, Lord Shri Krishna tells Arjuna that you are speaking as if a learned man. Prajnavadam Bhashati. You are speaking as if you are very learned personality. But actually, we are just the opposite. Agatasun cha nanu shochanti pandita. So we are opposite to pandita. That means in indirect we call Arjuna as a foolish person. So uh, that's a great lesson for everyone, that we should have emotions only when they can be directed as per dharma. For example, uh, if someone uh, feels the need of a man, a husband, at the age of 15, suppose that she is a widow, for example. Think of some woman. She is a widow, and uh, she feels some need of a husband. Now, as per Vedic culture, remarriage is a sin. I mean, it is uh, it was just not there. Somehow there are some so-called social reformers misinterpreted our scriptures, and somehow they wanted to establish that remarriage is possible in Vedic culture. But actually, remarriage is uh, not it. Once we give commitment to be with one husband, that is for this life, forever. Now it cannot be changed. That now I want some another husband. So anyway, the point is that suppose someone is a widow and she feels the need of to uh, have a husband. So this cannot be accommodated. So sometimes you know, people influenced with Western ideas, they may look toward Vedic culture as senseless or emotionless because, uh, like, they are not allowing widow to be with some male, maybe in a legal way or illegal way. So they see it as cruel that we are not, very culture does not give any room for such emotions. But actually, emotions are not everything. Emotional is also uh, emotion is an intrinsic part of our nature, but not all emotions can be entertained. So those emotions should be in line with dharma. Only in that cases it can, they can be accommodated, not otherwise. And there are many wonderful ways to dovetail our emotions in Vedic culture. So instead of understanding how we can direct our emotions uh, as per dharma, if we try to manufacture some innovative ideas to get our emotions fulfilled in some other adharmic way, so that is a sin, and that is a punishable act. As per Vedic scripture, it's a punishable act. So, uh, whenever we get such emotions or feelings, we should seek the guidance of Vedic literatures. So, what we should do? For example, someone wants a child. So, uh, the proper method is that uh, uh, either a male or female, they should get married, they should follow dharma, and as per the rules of dharma, they can beget progeny. So that's the standard method. So now we can't just find some illicit manner to fulfill this desire, or someone may even have the desire for having sex with someone. So now we can't just invent any so-called you know illegal ways, just having some extramarital relationships or being in relationship with someone. The word relationship has been so degraded by the uh, these modern people that I sometimes I feel that I should not be using this word in my lectures because they had actually demeaned this word because of such animalistic behavior. The word relationship has become so uh, degraded. Anyway, so the point is that in any case we can't uh, have our emotions fulfilled in a dharmic way. So there are ways, and we should be satisfied with the boundaries of dharma because that what qualifies someone as a human being. For animals, there are no such rules and regulations, and because they don't follow any rules and regulations, so their destination is also not so good. Whereas we are human beings are supposed to follow the codes of dharma, and why they should follow the codes of dharma? Because they have a higher purpose in life. They have to attain moksha. Only in human species of life, it is possible. So we have to take up tapasya. So sometimes our emotions may not get fulfilled. That is also a case. So in the that situation, we should be satisfied with our own tapasya. That I may have some emotions, but now according to dharma, I cannot fulfill those emotions. So I should just tolerate my emotions or my urges. So that's a full stop. And there are many other good things to do in life. It's not that emotions is everything. Sometimes in modern culture, they give uh, so much importance to emotions as if emotions is everything. But actually, emotions it's not everything. So and even if we consider the emotions are everything, then we can think of doubting those emotions in a very superior way. We can doubt those emotions towards God, towards serving uh, everyone. So why not endure for that? So there is no absolute no need to come down to the platform of animals just to fulfill our emotions. Next, therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the grounds of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and his relatives, but Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so called non-violence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna. So, Arjuna thought that he is not willing to fight with Bhishma and his superiors should be seen as a saintly act or a magnanimous act. Why Lord Shri Krishna is not accommodating uh, this reason? But actually, Lord Shri Krishna, being the supreme Guru, he could understand Arjuna's weakness. That actually, uh, Arjuna apparently he is giving such saintly reasons, but internally he is feeling attachment to his relatives. So only a guru can detect such weakness in a disciple. And Lord Shri Krishna, he is Jagat Guru. Krishna Mande Jagat Guru. So he knows what was going on in Arjuna's mind. So in throughout Bhagavad Gita, we see that Arjuna gives many arguments, many uh, uh, meaningful arguments, and and they look so divine and meaningful that they should not be uh, discouraged. However, we see that Lord Shri Krishna, right in the beginning, declares Arjuna as a foolish person for all of his arguments. So here comes the role of a guru. So uh, simply by giving arguments, we cannot win our gurus because Guru knows the heart of Arjuna. Guru knows the heart of his disciples. So that's a role of gurus. So so we should not consider that Arjuna had all good reasons not to fight with Bhishma and others, and still Lord Shri Krishna somehow the refused Arjuna, and in the maybe it was unjust. It was not unjust. It was correct because Lord Shri Krishna could sense Arjuna's weakness. So these things may happen in our life that sometimes we may argue on for something, but superficially. So simply arguing on superficial platform is not enough. Therefore our superiors or our those are in those are in the position of gurus. They know our heart and they understand what are our strengths and our weaknesses. Sometimes they may accommodate our arguments and sometimes they may not. So when they do not accommodate our arguments, we should understand that it is not due to the argument they rejected us, but it is because of our own adhikar, because of our own adhikar or our own position. They did not uh, respect those arguments. So there is nothing wrong with the arguments, but uh, simply argumenting for the sake of argument is not enough. So whenever when we have to guide someone, so we have to think in those terms. We have to think in terms of a guru, how a guru treats his disciples. So it is not just by means of arguments. So argument could be a medium between guru and disciple, but eventually a guru has to see the heart of his disciple and then guide him or her accordingly. So that's something practical aspect in our life. So theoretically, Arjun had many good arguments, and similarly, we also sometimes give many good arguments to our superiors and teachers. But here in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna got disappointed. His arguments were not welcomed by Lord Shri Krishna, and we also feel the same sometimes that our arguments are not heard. Our superiors, our teachers, they simply ignore us. So why they ignore us? That we have to see. We have to uh, sincerely look into our heart where we are wrong instead of simply arguing. So argumentation is not the only way. And why it is so important to know this, because uh, we have to guide people not based on how they argue, but what they are. So according to the adhikar of the person, we have to guide that person. So let's not just simply depend on arguments, because by logic, anything can be established. We can bring any issue, and we can always give some arguments uh, for and against the case. So logic is not the solution. We have to see the person. Okay, I will stop here. I have already taken some more time, so will not take any questions now. So let us stop here. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. श्रीमद् भगवद गीता यज्ञ की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for joining the class.